digital media classroom here at Wellington High School. Welcome to another episode of Dialogue with the Dukes. Today's show is being brought to you by the Scent Depot, located at 132 West Herrick in downtown Wellington. It's bowling day today. You may remember that the last episode we talked with both basketball teams, the girls and the boys basketball teams. Today we're going to do a combination also with the bowling teams. We have representing the girls, we have Heather Reininger. Is that the way I would pronounce it, I hope? Yeah. Good. We have Heather today, and to my immediate right we have Brandon Rutkowski. Now you may remember Brandon from before, at least remember his brother, because Kevin also not only bowled for Wellington High School, but he also played trumpet in the band, as does Brandon, who also plays trumpet in the band. And so you've probably seen him out there at basketball games, out on the football field, and so on. So welcome to both of you. Before we actually get into the meat of the bowling itself and things like that, we want to talk about who is on the team members, who has the highest average so far, and who's got the highest game so far. So girls first. Heather?
On the team is Whitney Kirshner, Kitty Hill, Trinity Farr, Vicki Dickinson, Autumn Dudziak, and me. The highest average is Whitney Kirshner with 164, and her high game is 221.
Mm-hmm. Just out of your curiosity, how do you fit in there, Heather? Are you close to that?
I'm the second highest girl.
Very good. Congratulations. Same question to you, Brandon.
The team members on the boys team are Reese Harrell, Braden Needing, Landon Davidson, Dean Phillips, and me, myself. Average-wise, the highest one is me with a 209, and I also have the highest game with a 259. Mm-hmm. And in second place with that would be Braden, with his average being a 183 and a high game of 237. Mm-hmm. So we're both really close.
Mm-hmm. Well, both of you have got really high averages, and I have done very little bowling myself, but I'm certainly not even in your league at 169. No way. Just out of your curiosity, when you bowl with your brother, who wins?
Well, last time we actually bowled was it was like our normal New Year's Eve type celebration with the family and whatever. Okay. It was at Rebman's. I ended up beating him.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember my games, unfortunately, but series-wise, I did beat him.
Did well. Is it fierce competition or friendly competition?
Actually, we do have a little bit of a competition. We're seeing who can get a 300 first.
Uh-huh. You're getting close. I think your high game is what, 259? I think you said. So that's fantastic. Getting into the fact that we don't actually have, like the rest of the teams here at Wellington High School, we don't have a situation where we have bowling in the Lorain County Conference 8. We have what's known as the North Shore Bowling Conference. Explain the North Shore Bowling Conference and the divisions involved in both. Is it anything like the Lorain County 8, or is it just like completely separate? Don't remember? How about the divisions? Division 1, Division 2. How many teams are in each one?
I believe there is 10 in each.
Okay. Now we're in Division 2, is that right, Heather? Is there a difference between Division 1, Division 2, or just how are the teams picked?
Division 1 is the bigger schools, and Division 2 is the smaller schools.
Oh, okay. I understand. Now, Heather, I need you to do some bragging. The girls are doing extremely well. Not to say that the boys aren't doing well, but the girls are doing really good. Talk to us about the girls' team and where they are fitting in within Division 2.
We are undefeated in Division 2. We are doing extremely well this year. Our coach is really hoping that we make it to state.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that'd be great. Who would you, or which team would you consider to be the biggest competition for Wellington?
From who we've bowled so far, I'd have to say Amherst.
Oh, really? Uh-huh. What are who are some of the other schools? Not, you don't have to name all 10, but who are some of the other schools that are in Division 2? especially the ones that you bowled?
Well, Amherst is Division 1.
Okay.
But like Keystone, Black River, all of them, so it's like hard to keep them separate.
Right. Do the fact that you're undefeated in Division 2?
Yeah.
How about in the teams in Division 1? Have you beaten them too?
We've only lost to 2 Division 1 schools.
Oh, okay. All right. So there is really a big difference between Division 1 and Division 2. Well, for you, Brandon, what's the importance, shall we say, in bowling in the conference and then going on to districts and, like Heather said, going on to state? What are your goals? Yeah, say it, Bill. Your goals specifically, not only for the team but for yourself.
Well, despite certain issues that we're having, especially on the boys' side, with certain people not being able to bowl due to personal complications, I will not say.
Well, we don't need to go into that.
Yeah. I think our main goal right now is just do our best for what teams or what players we have right now, because there's not a whole lot we can do. Like, they can obviously brag they're undefeated and whatever. We unfortunately can't say the same for us. So yeah, once again, it's just do what we can do for the most part. Still have fun bowling and just try and obviously go as high as possible.
Mm-hmm. For the same question to you, realistic goals for the team, realistic goal for you when you started the season?
When we started the season, we were really hoping that we'd make it past districts and into state. And for me, my goal is just to beat my average from last year.
What was your average last year?
150.
Well, you're already beating it right now, correct? Well, that's good. Now, if you are lucky to go to district, what follows district? Is it state, or is it bowling in the conference, then district, then something else, then state, or just right to state?
It goes sectionals, district, state.
Oh, sectionals, district, state. Okay. All right. Well, that's really good to know. Well, when we come back after this message, we'll talk specifically more about bowling itself, not necessarily the teams, but how Brandon and Heather actually bowl and how, some of the techniques that are used in bowling. This is Dialogue with the Dukes.
Do you have a hard time trying to find good skincare products such as lotions or even bath salts? Then Scent Depot is the place for you. They have a variety of lotions, soaps, and more. It's located at 132 West Herrick Avenue, Wellington, Ohio 44090. Their website is www.shopscentdepot.com. You can contact them at scentdepotwellington@gmail.com for more information.
Don't forget, if you have some interest in having a nice scent to your body, whether you use Axe or something else, go visit the Scent Depot located at 132 West Herrick in downtown Wellington, and they can provide all of the help that you need in providing nice, smelly, good things for both of you. During the first portion, we talked about bowling as far as the high school, what's involved, the fact that we are not actually in the Lorain County 8, we're in something called the North Shore Bowling Conference, and how all of that compares to actually playing football, basketball, and so on. So now we want to talk with Heather and Brandon about bowling itself, and specifically how they bowl themselves, specifically using curved or straight balls and so on. So my first question, first of all, we need to talk about how a match is conducted. How is a match conducted? We know going to basketball games and football, how that takes place, but how is a bowling match conducted?
Usually at a match, you bowl 2 regular games individually, and then once you're done with those, you bowl 2 Baker games, which is where you have 5 people bowl 1 game. The first person bowls 1 and 6, the second person bowls 2 and 7, third person bowls 3 and 8, fourth person 4 and 9, and then 5 and 10.
And you're talking about the frames themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So each person gets to bowl once in a Baker game, is that correct?
Twice.
Okay. All right. Oh, I see what you said. Well, I didn't do well in math in high school either. So they get to bowl twice in each Baker game, is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Now, when they take the scores, how is for lack of a better term, how is a winner determined? Both in both in bowling each game versus a Baker game?
Well, they add all of the scores together, so everyone's individual scores added together, and then they add the 2 Baker games to the individual scores, and then they compare, and whoever has the higher pin count wins.
Oh, okay, I understand. I mentioned earlier in the introduction, we have straight balls and curved balls, but I understand in talking with you, yet there's one more type of ball that you would throw. So explain the difference between all 3 types of the way that you would throw the ball down the lane.
Well, I only stick with 2 types. One of them I just recently got. I mostly stuck with curveballs. The one that I got is called a back roll, I believe. And the way it was described to me is it'll go straight, sorta. It'll curve a little bit, but not too much.
Mm-hmm.
And when it gets to a certain point, like near where the pins would be, it would go straight into the pocket or wherever. Hopefully, if you hit your mark and stuff like that, like it'll like just an immediate sudden curve.
Obviously, then speed has an awful lot to do with that third type of ball, correct? Because it has to break right at the right point.
Yep.
Yeah,
Speed
exactly.
has a lot to do with curveballs as well, as I have learned since our last game, and even more. A curveball, just like if I were to stand on the middle arrow and I'd throw between 2 and 3, for example, it'll curve and then it'll slowly just come right back in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a sudden, it'll slowly go into it, just simple. I don't use a straight ball personally. I can't do it. I've always relied on curve because of the way I turn my hand every time I release.
Right. Mm-hmm. Straight, curve, or what do you call it? Back
roll.
Back roll.
I use a curve ball for my strike ball, and then if I have any pins left to pick up on the right side, I throw a straight ball.
Okay. Now, you were talking about throwing at certain places. We know that each lane has got arrows. Obviously, the arrows are what you specifically use for aiming for throwing the ball down the lane. Which arrows do you aim for? And again, depending on whether you're throwing a strike or a spare.
Well, it depends on how oily the lane is, like where my mark is. But for my straight ball, I usually aim at the center arrow because I stand all the way on the left side and I aim straight at like the right side.
Mm-hmm. Now you have a certain arrow that you're looking at for, say, the 10 pin that you're trying to roll in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now we know that those arrows. You know, she was explaining what she uses for arrows. What do you use for arrows?
Well, I also, if you wanted to talk about where I stand as well.
Good. Please do.
For example, there would be a center mark, and then there's like, I believe 2 more on the right, maybe 3.
Depends on the lane.
Yeah. Some lanes are different or whatever.
Is that right?
I stand like 1 or 2 boards to the left of the one mark that's to the right of the middle. I don't know if that's confusing or not. I stand there and I throw between 1 and 2 the arrows on the lane that time, and just curve right into the pocket.
Okay. Well, I bowled probably maybe 20 times in my whole life, and so I do nothing but a straight ball. I have no idea what this curving or back roll is. I'm glad you mentioned the fact that the lanes are oiled. All of the lanes are oiled. Do you find that they are uniform? Are they different? Do they depend on each lane? Does it depend on the bowling alley?
It depends on the alley, how it's oiled. Typically there's more oil towards the center of the lane, but sometimes the alley will oil it like different than other ones. So you always have to like adjust at different alleys, like where you stand or where your mark is, how fast you throw.
How do you know? There are practice balls that you throw.
Yeah.
Is that that's where you learn
Yeah.
the differences in the lanes and things like that?
Yeah.
Is it hard to keep track of each lane if they are oiled differently, and the fact that, like you said, sometimes there's more oil in the center than on the sides? How do you keep track of that?
Sometimes it's just random or whatever.
Is it?
Yeah.
If I could, tell me the name of your coach and how has he helped you?
His name's Tim Rock, and he's been a major help with like telling me like how to adjust to like the different lane conditions and like my throwing speed.
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes I get a little excited and I throw too fast and I have to slow down. And he works with us girls and makes sure that like we're focused and like trying our best.
Mm-hmm. Now, the coach, does he have something to do with strikeout lanes? Is he employed by them? Or do you know?
Yeah, he works with like drilling the balls and
Oh,
everything,
okay.
fitting them on people.
Sure. Uh-huh. Now, how has he helped you?
Well, we also have Coach Davidson, which is Landon's father.
Oh, okay.
He's also sort of a help with us as well. He just makes sure everybody's calm when it comes to bowling, because we do get angry obviously when we don't get what we want on the lanes.
Of course.
And yeah, both the coaches, Tim and Davidson, have helped us with like controlling our speed, anger, and making like asking where we're standing. And it's just, yeah, they've been quite a bit of help.
Mm-hmm.
The one that helped me the most though, he's not a coach, unfortunately, but that would be my dad. He has helped me go higher and higher. Just tell me move right or move left. If it's going left, go left. If it's not going in enough, you gotta move right.
Mm-hmm. Now, do the coaches actually talk to you after you throw each frame, or do they kind of look back and watch for a while and then give you pointers?
Well, the first game they usually stand back for a couple of frames just to see how we're throwing and how our ball's moving. But like sometimes they'll like tell us how to change things after like our first ball of a frame.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how we're doing.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask both of you the same question. Is bowling fun? Is it competition? Or is it a combination of both?
For me, it's both.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've gotten to enjoy it more throughout the years, and I've gone out with my parents, and I use it as fun and practice there, and then, like, at matches, it's competition, but it's also fun with the other girls.
How long have you bowled? How many years?
I started my freshman year.
Your freshman year. And you're what now?
A junior.
A junior. So you've only been bowling for like 2 years. And to have the average that you have, that's fantastic. Congratulations. You've bowled since probably you were knee high to a grasshopper.
Yeah.
Only because of your family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Competition, fun, or both?
Yeah, sort of both.
For sort of both.
Yep.
Except when you're against your brother Kevin.
Oh yeah, that's straight competition. There's no fun in that. It's just gotta do it.
Exactly. Well, finally, what got you interested in bowling? Was it your family, or was there just something else, or maybe friends were bowling? What got you interested? I think I know the answer to that Brandon would say.
For me, it was just another thing for me to do. Like, I needed another activity, and bowling just seemed like something for me to do. And it was like another family activity for my parents to like enjoy with me.
So both your mom and dad do bowl?
Well, my mom doesn't because of issues.
Oh, okay, that's fine. We don't need to go into that either. I'll ask, maybe both of you have an opinion for the final question. How popular is bowling in Wellington?
Well, certain people obviously just random people obviously do go to strikeout lanes, but when it comes to like watching us bowl or stuff like that, we don't get that many people. It's mostly just the parents and stuff. Sometimes they don't even show up or whatever.
Do a lot of people show up? Do you have a lot of spectators, or just a few?
It's mainly just our parents and family.
Do they go back and forth between the boys and the girls, or do they just stay right there? Like your parents, for example, do they just stay right behind you?
Well, because of COVID, they've changed it so the boys and girls bowl next to each other instead of like all the girls on so many lanes and the boys on the other lanes. It's just like Wellington on these set of lanes and the other team on the other
Oh, I
side.
see. Yeah, because it's completely different since the one match that I went to, there wasn't such thing as COVID. So yeah, that certainly COVID has certainly changed all of the sports for that matter, but specifically in bowling itself. So, well, we'd like to thank both Heather Reiniger and Brandon Rutkowski for coming in and talking to us about bowling. It's as both of you have indicated, it's not like going to a basketball game. There aren't huge throngs of people cheering behind you in most cases, but it's certainly a very important sport here at Wellington High School, and certainly something that all maybe not all of the students know that much about, and that's why we have this particular dialogue with the Dukes to explain what bowling is about and what we do here at Wellington High School and what the differences are between the normal Lorain County 8 and the North Shore Bowling Conference. So thank you both to Heather and Brandon for coming in, and we'll be back again soon with another episode of Dialogue with the Dukes.